What's happening, everyone? So, you read the title of the video. Don't mean to be on a depressing topic, but, I need to talk about it. Because, um, I know I didn't do a video when Lemmy Kilmister died, but, you know, his death was still, very saddening for me and a lot of other people. But, David Bowie, being the person that he was, everyone knew him, whether you knew him just by like his music or his fashion or just hearing about him, you knew him somehow. And even though I don't really know much about him and I'm not too familiar with a lot of his older songs, it's still hard for me because I've known about him my whole life. So, I don't know if any of you have listened to his newer songs, the new songs that came out like Black Star or Lazarus or anything off of his new album. But I like it so far, you know. And, reading a news article where it said that this was his parting gift made it, you know, that made it so much harder. Because, I mean, he knew that it was going to be his last piece of work. But nobody else knew, you know? I thought he'd go on for a lot longer. The difference between David Bowie's and Lemmy Kilmister's death. You know, I knew that Lemmy was sick. I knew that he probably wouldn't hold out much longer, which was sad. So when he died, it wasn't it was a shock still, but it wasn't a huge shock because I knew that it was going to happen soon. You know, I wish it I wish that it didn't happen when it did, but I knew that it would. But David Bowie's was completely unexpected, because nobody knew that anything was wrong with him. So I don't really own anything of David Bowie's, I don't own any vinyl or poster or CD or anything. But, you know, it was really hard for me, as for a lot of people, you know. The influence that he's had on so many people, countless people, including me. And I know that this is probably just a boring video for you to watch because I got these long silences in the middle, but I'm still trying to process this whole thing. I plan on picking up Black Star, his new album, whenever I see it. my sister owns a book about him and one of his 80s albums, but you know, I don't know. I wanted to get into him more, but I just never did. And I'm I'm learning more about him now and listening to him more. But the thing that I hate about it so much is that it took his death in order to do that. And that's what makes me mad at myself for that. That I couldn't take the time before. This whole thing shocked the world. And hearing about it yesterday, I I didn't have any time to really take it in, you know, because I was busy through the whole day, I had other things that I was doing, you know. It didn't really start sinking in until last night. And it's today where I'm trying to take it in more. If any of you out there, you know, if any of you watching this, if you were a fan, or if you weren't, if you only heard about him, you know, tell me about it. Leave a comment telling me, you know, what's your favorite song of his, or the first time that you heard him, or anything. I couldn't really tell you the first time that I heard him because, you know, being really young, sitting in the car, it was always on the classic rock station. And, it would always play his biggest hits like Fame or Changes. So I don't know where I first heard him, but, when I first was, I don't even know where I was first hearing of him. Because it's only been in, like, recent years, like the past 3 or 4 years, that my sister started getting more into him, you know. She was reading a book on him, and she would be constantly listening to, like, Changes or Heroes or Fame, and then she would watch Labyrinth all the time. And he just didn't seem like he would be someone that I listened to. But more recently, like within the last year, when I really started diving into music, you know, every genre, any band I could find, I'd listen to them, and I started listening to David Bowie. And turns out I really liked it. And then this happened. You know, I can't say anymore how sad I am that he's gone. But it just makes me even more sad because of my other heroes out there in the music world. Like, you know, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr, and, Ozzy Osbourne, because they're all older. you know, and it's sad to think that they could go at any moment. But anybody could. I could go at any moment, or, you, or anyone. That's the scary part about life. And I don't mean to get so deep into things. I didn't mean to make this a very long video, seeing as it's almost at 11 minutes. But I just needed to talk, you know. All I can say is, you know, rest in peace, David Bowie. Rest in peace, Lemmy Kilmister. You know, and for anybody else that has died either, I hope that everyone has their quiet slumber. The fact that I will never meet David Bowie is extremely sad. I'll never be able to work with him, never be able to shake hands. But at least he left the world with all his work. So again, rest in peace, David Bowie. And explore the universe. Be the Starman. Goodbye.